perfect.
Man, it's been a busy day.
Why? You've been filling in for Mark Royce, right, who was supposed to be at the show but couldn't get in because of the snow.
I've been here since 6 this morning.
Oh my gosh.
And with radio, you know, morning radio, and we had our press conference, and I had an event with Howard University. I'm a graduate of Howard.
And you're some sort of connection between GM and Howard now, too, right? Explain that.
I'm GM's key executive with,
That's the term
with
I was
Howard
looking
University.
for, right.
And so, you know, we've had a long relationship with the school, and there's a grant that we announced today of $88,000. It's just an installment in what we've been doing ongoing for quite a few years, and felt really good about it. Had a lot of students there, and it's
got to feel good for GM to be able to get back into, or have the ability to make donations like that again.
Yeah, exactly. And it's really an investment in our future, because we have we've gotten quite a few really good engineers and some sculptors that are working in my organization in design, and yeah, there's more coming.
So let's talk design,
okay,
because that's always the fun part to talk about in this business. But you must feel pretty good that, you know, GM, you know, starting with Lutz and then you becoming vice president of design, we've really seen a change in the cars at GM. You know, visually exterior, really good, and the interiors especially, you put a lot of work into.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. In fact, I believe, you know, when we really began our march with interior design, we were like 2 years behind the competition. First thing was you had to recognize that we were 2 years behind the competition. Admit it. And it was fit, it was finish, it was the materials, it was just our whole approach to interior design. We were, you know, we didn't even have many reviews of the interiors. There's always the exterior design, and if we have time, we'll review the interior. Today, we spend as much time on the interior as we do the exterior, at times even more, because you're getting into the details. And the work that we're doing with our suppliers and with engineering, we're making sure that we have the right materials and the right relationships throughout the interiors. I feel very good about that work.
So let's say over the last 5 years, how would you characterize GM design, and how would you characterize it for the next 5?
Yeah, I would say, first off, the environment in which we work has really changed. And that's not necessarily the physical facilities, although that has changed and technology's changed, but it's an environment in which designers feel free to come forward with ideas. Cadillac CTS Coupe, that did not come out of a big planning, you know, workshop or marketing initiatives. There was a designer who was working on the CTS sedan that had an idea for a coupe, and he brought it to me. And that's the kind of environment that I want, in which people feel free to come to me with their ideas or their concerns. If there's something they don't think is right, yeah, let me know about it. You know, and so that environment is throughout the global organization. Historically, designers don't share. You know, they're kind of protective of their cool idea.
They're artists. That's how artists are, right?
They are, but our team, Global Design, recognizes who the competition really is. So we have 10 studios around the world, and they all work together, and it's just something that, you know, it's been there, but within the past few weeks and months, it's like it's gone to a whole nother level that, God, does it feel good.
What was the spark?
I mean, I don't know, realizing how powerful it is and how we all win when we do it. In a design team in China working with a team in North America, or the one in Brazil working with the one in Australia, working in collaboration. Sometimes it's a competition that I'll stage between 2 teams, working on all new, you know, okay, in the future there will be a new Corvette. I asked every designer in our global organization to submit their idea. You know, so you got
you must have been flooded.
So, oh, unbelievable what we got out of that. But the idea of asking, no one ever asked a designer in Korea or in China or in India or in Brazil or Australia what they thought
of the
new Corvette would be. The opportunity. Ed Welburn wants your ideas. Boy, they worked day and night and day. Great ideas. I mean, some real cool ones came out of our studio in Germany. And of course, those who were assigned to the team in North America, you know, they know all this work's coming, so their work got even better. Got even better. So, I mean, But no, I'm not going to show you the car.
No, I know you're not. I'm not even going to ask, right? Not now. But is there a danger at all in perception on the American public? Corvette's an American icon. What if they say, oh yeah, this was designed in China or Germany or Brazil or something?
It is, you know, Corvette is an American icon. The team that is really developing the car it's located in North America at our tech center in Warren, Michigan. We get input, you know, great ideas come from anywhere and everywhere. And so great ideas come in, but that team has got the responsibility, and I'm very close to that team and what is developing, and I feel very good about it. But I feel as important as that car is and as much time that I personally devote to it, I give just as much time to the Tavera van in India. Do you know the Tavera van?
No, I don't know that.
Oh, yeah, it's a van that has been in production probably at least 20, 25 years, you know, and the team was asked to facelift it yet one more time. And so I was there in the studio in India, I'm everywhere. And I had not really spent much time with it, so they got a Tavera van. It was out in a dusty parking lot. I went out there and I looked at it and I saw something that they hadn't seen. I looked at it and I could see the pure design that was in the body shape, the original vehicle when it was introduced many decades ago. And I said, you need to peel back all of these little changes that occurred over the years, back to the original design, and let's do something fresh with it. And I get as excited about the Tavera in India, for Chevrolet in India, as I do about the Corvette or the Volt or any of them.
I love it. Well, you're a true design guy to get excited about a little van in India.
Yeah, it's cool. Good stuff.
So what kind of trends should we be on the lookout for? Or what kind of things are you on the lookout for?
Well, certainly, and I've been on the lookout for this for a number of years now, but certainly small cars that are far more complete than what they were in the past. It's not the cheap seat, it's not the econo box. It is, yeah, and it's not just great mileage. It's just, they can be total vehicles that are terrific vehicles. And so that is really starting to emerge. You know, it's vehicles from the Sonic to the Verano. You know, we have a concept here at the Washington show, the ULC, little Cadillac concept, that explores doing.
Which you had at LA too, right?
LA,
I loved it.
Kind of a micro exotic, and you know, it's not for all markets, but you know, we have to explore. We have to try things.
I think you nailed it with that one, because when I look at that car, yeah, I see a little car, but it's like, wow, this thing just screams Cadillac.
It's Cadillac. It's got interior space of a Cadillac CTS, but in this, you know, micro, you know, box shape with a lot of wedge, a lot of form.
Some of the other things I was wondering about, a few years ago, designers were talking about blue tinted glass, for an example. You know, all of today's glass is green tinted. And we were going to hear, oh yeah, we're going to see blue tinted glass and a lot more with glass. Is any of that happening?
Not really. Not really. I think we did one concept. Remember the Sienna Minage?
Oh yeah. Stunningly beautiful car.
It had blue tinted glass. There are a couple internal concepts had it, but you know what? Some people look a little strange under that blue light.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, yeah, you know.
Didn't work, huh?
It was not flattering to our customers.
And another trend that we've seen, starting at the Detroit show, well, actually, I saw it in the Paris show, flat matte
I knew you were going to bring it up.
And I hated it. I hate the matte. But then I'm starting to see what I'm calling a satin finish, or others call low gloss. What do you make of that?
Satin is a little better than absolute flat. Actually, it's been around for about 10 years, and in Europe quite a bit. Opel, the Insignia, the original concept, was a matte finish, a matte gray, which is pretty cool. I have mixed feelings about it, you know, and it's funny, the auto industry's been around for 100 years. We've been working for 100 years to perfect high gloss paints, you know, pushing for high gloss finish, high gloss, and then all of a sudden designers want matte finish, you know. And you know, the paint industry has been very difficult for them, because the matte finish cars, you take them through a car wash and it starts to buff.
Right, they get shiny.
But only selectively. It's kind of like an old suit, you know. And so only in some areas it gets shiny. So it has not been easy. And continue to play with it a bit.
What I like about the satin finish is you see all the lines in the car.
Yeah,
It really shows them. It doesn't matter what the lighting condition is. But on the other hand, you know, maybe because we're so trained to look for depth of gloss that it almost looks like there's something not right, even though you can see all the lines.
The thing that's interesting about a satin finish is that you really see the purity in the surface. You're not being distracted by the reflection of anything. You're not seeing a horizon, you're not seeing the buildings. It is the pure surface, and that is it. So it better be a well-developed surface, that's for sure.
Yeah. But then everybody tells me repairing it in the field is the big hang-up. Is that it, or is it more than that?
It is a hang-up. Well, and we don't have, I don't know, will it be well received by everyone? I think it's with some niche vehicles. Lamborghini certainly does it, and some of their customers really want it, and they're very interested in it. When they pay for repainting the whole car, I'm not sure if their interest level is quite as high. We're toying with it in a couple places, but more as a niche kind of, maybe a special edition.
Anything else you can point to me that I should be on the lookout for, design trend-wise, that you're picking up on?
I'm looking at for everything, because I just, you know, it can come from anywhere, as we know. You know, there's, you know, any brand that most people are dismissing, there may be something that's starting to bubble up there that we have to look at for, and we keep pushing for it. You know, we need to even look beyond what we see in the trends. You know, once a trend is pretty obvious to everyone, it's kind of late in the game. We've got to look beyond that, and we're now at a point with our design organization where it's a far more confident design organization, has a very strong base to it, really talented people, and it's time for us to take it to a whole nother level.
Well, with that, that's a great point to wrap this up. But Ed Welburn, head of design at General Motors, thanks so much for stopping by. It's terrific talking with you. I always,
it was great
the design part is always the best part of the business. It really is.
Well, I don't know. It's all fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ed, thanks so much again. Really appreciate it.
AutoLine Live from the Washington, D.C. Auto Show is brought to you by our Inner Circle sponsor, Bosch, invented for life, and also by Dow Automotive Systems, innovations for clean powertrain solutions, and by the Steel Market Development Institute, automotive steel technologies powered by strength, fueled by innovation.